All right, dude. So gonna hop into this. Is pretty simple, really, right? Um, got our clarified butter here, and our coconut oil. And what I do is you're supposed to use like a tablespoon and a half, and I just use this as my tablespoon. But I always do two of each because, I mean, it's clarified butter and coconut oil, so why not two, right? So I do that, and then I get like a heaping serving there of the popcorn, and hopefully you got that big popcorn thing there. That'll last you 3-4 weeks, and then I'm just gonna turn the hot plate on. Now, one thing that's a little trick, I always let it get really hot before I throw this stuff in there. One thing that'll add actually a little something, like if you use a clarified butter at a higher temperature that it can go to before it burns. One thing that is pretty good is if you throw regular butter in there, like a little chunk or something, it will burn and it tastes pretty good. So sometimes I do that, but for the most part, I'm just gonna let this get hot, throw that on there, and then move over to the stuff that comes after. All right, so this is good and hot, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this stuff on here. There we go. Now, sometimes this stuff will get stuck under here, so you kind of have to give it a shake, because it just gets stuck under there and it makes a horrible sound. It's like a horror sound, like, Rah! That's bad. You put your cap on, and we'll let it pop. I think that one thing that I'll mention at the end is that, like, when it does pop, even when it's fully done popping, little pro tip is that you want to let it sit for a little bit inside of that hot, because it will continue to expand. So even the stuff that didn't fully pop, when you let it sit inside there for a little bit, it's not going to burn very much, but the corn will continue to expand, so you don't end up with that, you know, like all the seeds in the bottom of your bag and things getting all wonky. So that'll pop up, and we'll go over and figure out the aftercare here. All right, so our popcorn's done. Our popcorn's done right there. It's got a good pop, got everything fully expanded because we left it in there for a minute after. And I've got the peanut oil out here, and I've got about a quarter, I guess it's a quarter cup. There's a lot of oil and butter and stuff going on here, so I wouldn't tell your cardiologist about this, but there's, you know, about a quarter cup. And if you look inside here, I also put a little chunk of butter in there for flavor, because the peanut oil does a great job of like coating and you know, making sure that everything is nice and greasy. But the butter adds flavor. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, my truffle powder, and I'm gonna put 2 shakes in it. 3 is too much, and 1's not really gonna do it. So I always use about 2 good hard shakes on there. And then I'm gonna throw it in the microwave for a minute, 30 seconds, just so that it's like, I just want it to be warm, because then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this popcorn, I'm gonna put it in this bag, and I'm gonna, you know, dump the oil on it and shake it, that kind of thing, you know, get it nice and coated, shake it around. I usually take 3 to 4 shakes and covers, but anyway, you can figure that out. So after I do that, then I'm gonna apply the salt, and the same kind of thing, right? Like I'm covering it, and you gotta have the popcorn salt. You can't use like that regular stuff. It just rolls down to the bottom. It doesn't work very well. So this is like a really fine powder, and you know, you just give it a good shake and shake the bag around. And then another pro tip: instead of missing a bowl, because I don't want to really do any more dishes. Oh, almost forgot. Speaking of not doing dishes, I take the same spoon when I throw that truffle powder in there. I stir it around really good, because it can clump up a little bit. But I don't like to make a lot of dishes, so I just take this bag, and after I've shaken everything up, take scissors and cut the top off. And it's a magical bowl. So there's that. So usually when you pull it out of the microwave, you're gonna have to throw some swirling on it like this. And I always try to use something with a lip, because if you just try to do it, it's just not gonna, like, you wanna like drizzle as little as possible so you can get the most surface area, you know? But you just want to give it the real thin. Some of this, pretty loud. Like if your wife's trying to watch a movie, she might not like this. it'll get all over, but you just have to make sure that you get like, I'll use this whole thing for sure, the whole quarter cup. So give it that one. And you're out. Yeah? Still a little bit of truffle in there, but you know. And then same thing, the salt, you know, I kind of give it the one shake like that. And I've been guilty of over salting. It's pretty easy to do. With the powder, it just spreads better, so you don't necessarily even need to use as much as you would with like a regular salt, because this is just it's finer, it's a powder, so it spreads a little bit better, so you get the flavor without having the, you know, massive grains. So that's really that, and you end up with well, something like that looks amazing, and then you can just sit down on the couch, watch a movie, fall asleep. Life's good.